Our guided meditation today is going to be more of a mindful practice today. And it's about identifying self judgment and bringing in self compassion. Now, we know that self judgment, self criticism can be very ingrained thought patterns, right? So much so that we might not even realize that they are present. And we've had a lot of conditioning that really negatively impacts the thoughts that we hold about ourselves. As you know, this month we are making peace with the body, but really it's just making peace with ourselves, right? And many of us, myself included, we start to recognize the ways in which we talk to ourselves or how often we treat ourselves with unkindness. So even think about that for a moment. How many times, even if it's something simple as dropping something in the kitchen or stubbing your toe or anything like that, where, oh, oh, why did you do that? Or, we call ourselves names. We're so unkind. And even if this year you're working on taking care of your physical health and we make a mistake, maybe we eat or drink something we shouldn't have had, or we believe we shouldn't have had, right? Because we start to get critical about those things. We have to be aware. We have to be aware of that criticism, that self judgment that comes up, and realize the suffering that's place, I should say, taking place because of the judgment that we just made about ourselves, right? Oh, you idiot, or whatever you end up calling yourself. I can't believe I did that. Well, we have to comfort ourselves in that and knowing that it's okay to make a mistake. It's also important to not start judging ourselves for judging ourselves. We start to do that too. It's like, oh, well, I'm not supposed to judge myself. And why did I judge myself? We have to remember we're always doing our best, right? We're doing our best right here in the present moment. And so I share a lot of self compassion tools for us because it's so important. And it's something that I had to learn for myself to really work on because I had the best judge in my mind that could tell me all the times what I was doing wrong. And self compassion is really a skill that has to be practiced, just like every other skill that we know. So maybe you're struggling with this now. This is a challenge for you right now, but just open up to this meditation today so it can help to support you in identifying self judgment and then bringing in that self compassion to really meet it where it is. All right. So, if you will, please get into your seated posture and we will get started with our meditation. So, allowing your eyes to close or lowering your gaze, whatever feels helpful to you today. So, this way you have the most awareness without being distracted by your surroundings today. So, maybe you are softening your gaze, maybe you are closing your eyes, and that's okay. Sometimes we switch back and forth depending on our need in the moment. And just settle yourself in, perhaps feeling the feet on the floor, grounding into the earth. Allowing the seat, the chair, the cushion, whatever you're using today to support you, lifting the spine, softening the shoulders, being present to this moment, whatever it is for you. Begin to tune into your breathing. And this will help you to come into contact with how the body is feeling right now, how your body is feeling right now, also with the present moment. The reason that we use the breath as an anchor in mindfulness practices is because it anchors us to the present, because it's only ever happening right now. Breath isn't in the future and breath isn't in the past. It's here, it's now. Just tuning in, noticing where you are and where you're feeling the breath. Is it more in the area of the chest? Maybe the belly or at the nostrils? And if your breathing feels a little shallow, what does it feel like to allow yourself to deepen your breath, breathing right into the bottom of your lungs? And if you like, you can explore this gently without force now, without any expectation. And are there any sensations or emotions that arise by doing this, by deepening or feeling your breath? And if so, just take note of them, knowing there's nothing to change or fix. All of our sensations, emotions, experiences, all are welcome in this practice. If it feels good, you can allow your breath to deepen even further right into your belly. And then again, notice how your body responds to this. Notice if anything is coming into your consciousness that wasn't there before. And if there are any thoughts coming up, just observe them. Note them as thoughts and allow them to dissolve. As you allow your body to be still and rest, you might note that certain ideas or concepts are floating to the surface. You might notice messaging like, I don't know how to do this right, or I can't stop thinking about fill in the blank. You might also notice emotions arising, which is very normal. When we slow down and are still, we create space for things to arise. It's it's like we're taking our feelings off mute, so now we can hear them. Now, conversely, you might feel nothing at all, which is equally normal. Many of us, once we start paying attention to what's happening in our minds and our hearts, experience a sort of numbness. And a teacher once told me, feeling nothing is still feeling something. So if you feel nothing, just allow yourself to have that experience too. And whatever it is that you're experiencing, see if you can just watch it and note whether there are any voices of self criticism, self blame, self shame, any of those coming up. Are you telling yourself you should be feeling differently? Or perhaps resisting this experience and telling yourself you shouldn't be? Is there anxiety about the future or a sense that this is a waste of time and you should be getting things done? And whatever the critical voice is saying, for now, you're just letting it speak. You're just tuning into the radio in your mind. And if any point this becomes too difficult, just ground back into your breath. Notice the connection of the earth beneath you and do whatever you need to do to care for yourself. Once you're aware of what messaging you're receiving from your brain, sink back into your body. Notice if there are any physical experiences that might be coming up. Now, you might notice tightness in the shoulders, a holding in your stomach, fluttering in the throat, or a sense of numbness throughout. Or there might be something totally different. And whatever you're experiencing, just witness it. If our thoughts are like the part of the iceberg we can see above the water, our emotions are that much larger part beneath the surface. And often we first have to witness the thought before understanding that there's a larger emotion beneath the surface, holding up that thought. Feelings that come up around self criticism can be anything from anxiety to varying levels of fear, grief, even anger. See if you can notice and label what emotions are swirling around in your heart, your throat area, your stomach. And you recognize that any sensation attached to self judgment is suffering, that you are having a hard time with something. Struggling and suffering are part of the human experience. They are part of being a person who is alive. See if you can try just in this practice to let go of the thought that is there above the surface and sink into the body and offer some compassion towards the emotions or feelings you are having. Now, you can try placing a hand over your heart or stomach, maybe around your collarbone area, placing the other hand on top of the first, and just experience the warmth and the sensation of care and compassion that comes with touch. You can allow your breath to deepen again, breathing into that sense of care and concern. Can you say to that emotion, to this experience, it's okay, it's okay. Can you allow it to be in your body while offering it some kindness? You can also deliver the message to your whole being. It's okay. It's not your fault. You're doing your best. I'm here for you. Whatever feels right, whatever you might say to an upset child or pet, friend, family member, see what it feels like to say that to yourself, to the parts of you that are suffering. You can also try placing a hand on your cheek or your arm and gently stroking with care anywhere that feels right. We are all trying our best in this life. And while thinking critical thoughts about ourselves or our actions can seem like a motivating thing to do or a way to prevent us from getting hurt, being critical and judgmental of ourselves actually causes more suffering. Paying attention to how we talk to ourselves can be a key in unlocking our patterns of thinking. Then showing care and concern for the parts of us that are struggling can help us to positively transform the relationship we have with ourselves. The more often we practice this, the sooner we're able to recognize self critical thoughts. And upon this recognition, we can remind ourselves that we are perfectly imperfect humans doing our best. And no matter what, we are worthy of love, acceptance, and encouragement. To take just a few more loving breaths into and out of your body. Reconnect with the surface beneath you. Thank yourself for taking care of yourself. And slowly open your eyes whenever you're ready. Well, thank you for taking the time to practice with me today with this meditation.